So I found a roadside find. It's this wheelbarrow. There's a name on it somewhere. Blue Hawk. It's really a light wheelbarrow. It's incredibly light, but it looks like it fell off a truck because it was so mangled. I took it all apart and banged it flat. One of these wedges is cracked and squished. I might make these out of wood. This is part of the handle. That's the other part. This one was not bent up. This one was all twisted and bent up. So I straighten that out. And these are all the nuts and bolts that use them on the wire wheel to knock all the rust off them. And one of these long ones was bent. I straightened it out. It's probably this one. Then I ripped these two things to make new handles. A little bit thicker and stronger than the original handles. It was a little wider than two of them. Had a 2x4 would have been just a little bit too narrow. This handle is intact, but it's pretty mushy. It's like I'll make two handles. See, this is thinner than what I ended up with. I ended up ripping two out of a 2x6. And you just cut off the wood. By tilting it, you could control how much you take off. I will follow up with an electric sander. Another thing about this wheelbarrow, someone must have been cutting wood on it and they sliced right through the metal. So I'll be doing an amateur Harbor Freight weld on that. I want to reinforce the bottom too. The other thing is it doesn't have a wheel. I don't want to invest too much into it. An absolutely phenomenal tool is this finger sander. So I'm working on the handles with this. It's like forget the draw knife, this takes material off so quickly. That quick, not bad, huh? Gonna keep working on it. So this is how far I got. The handles, which are made out of a 2x6, and then I put supports on under here because this wheelbarrow, the metal is thin like a tin can. So I put supports in there to hold it. And I coated it with an epoxy. I was just gonna, because that's what I have. So I was just gonna coat the wooden parts, but since it dripped all over the wheelbarrow, I just brushed on there too with a sponge. And I am going to have to assemble it because some of the epoxy got under here, and if the epoxy cures, that's not going to go down properly. So I'm going to assemble it now, I think. I think I got like 4 crows now. Maybe more. They all freaking found out about Crow's secret. Anyway, I'm putting plumber's putty around the bolts in hopes that it'll make it watertight, because these don't seat flat in the barrel. So what I recorded, my camera was not running when I looked at it anyway. So do it again. These are the handles I made from a 2x6. Put these supports in because the wheelbarrow is so thin. It's like metal from a soup can. This is where there was a cut someone did, and I welded it poorly. Then I filed it smooth, and then I put some epoxy putty on top of it and molded that so it was smooth. There's some epoxy putty there because it was a bad spot. And I coated the wood with watery epoxy that I had, and then since it was starting to drip, I just did the whole wheelbarrow. Put a splash of paint on these. Relocated my wheel holes. I ended up buying a tire at Harbor Freight. I couldn't get a cheap tire on Marketplace, so I just got a brand new one. $28 plus tax. This is the original part. It just went across here, but it was so wobbly. I don't know why manufacturers do that, one thing across. So I ended up making these. These I cut 1/2 side of angle iron from an old bed frame because I didn't have any flat pieces of metal. So it's not exactly straight, but it's good enough. But you make it in a cross pattern and then it's real rigid. It's like, I don't know why manufacturers can't figure that out. Oh, my camera stopped again. So anyway, I made these two from cutting half of an angle iron from an old bed frame. Made them go in an X, and then you get much more rigidity with an X instead of one piece of metal going across here. This is the wheel from Harbor Freight. It's $27.99 plus tax. So it does have a tube, so it's not tubeless, which is an advantage, but it comes with a 3/4 inch bearing, not ball bearings, just a bearing. And these are very hard to get out. So instead of popping it out, I'm using this. This is the handle of an old little jack that I had years and years ago. I threw the jack away and I kept the handle, and this is the last of it, but it's 3/4 inch, so it's a perfect fit. But I did have to relocate the wheel holes because I copied the holes from the original one handle that I had. These are the brackets. I just widened them, threw a coat of paint on them. But they'll go like that. These spacers I cut out of PVC that I had. Done. So it's nice and level with that size wheel. So I did paint the inside of this. There's the putty. You can peel the excess off, and then that's it. Really hot out here. Greased up the wheel. So let's wheel something. can see how stable it is with the X.